morning, everyone. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Honorable State Secretaries, Generals, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests. As President of the Euro-Atlantic Center for Resilience, I am proud to open the 4th edition of the forum and to extend my gratitude to all those who made it possible and to you, distinguished audience. Our center was established in May 2021 as an interinstitutional research and analysis body. We are partners of NATO and the EU, acting for the benefit of these organizations, their members and their partner states, serving as a hub of expertise in the field of resilience. Our mission is to develop concepts, doctrines, policy papers, and methodologies in the field of resilience, to provide training courses and to offer a platform for the transfer of expertise between government institutions, private sector, civil society, and academia in the process of identifying, preparing for, overcoming, and rebounding from covert or hybrid challenges. And these challenges are coming thick and fast. Extreme weather, health, financial, economic crisis, and of course, brutal conflict. I have the privilege to acknowledge the support of the institutions that make my team's work possible, who are here with us and will address you shortly. It is my honor to give the opening floor to Mr. Mihai Cotec, Deputy Speaker of the Romanian Senate, to whom we owe the whole debt of gratitude for hosting us. Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to address you today on the opening of the 4th edition of the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Forum, an essential platform for strategic dialogue within our Euro-Atlantic community, shaping our collective response to an increasingly unpredictable world. The theme of this year's edition, Strategic Resilience for an Unpredictable Future, captures perfectly the essence of our times. We are living through an era of profound and rapid transformation, from hybrid and cyber threats to disruption affecting critical infrastructure of social cohesion. This challenge continuously challenges the stability of our institution and the resilience of our shared democratic value. Yet resilience is not built exclusively through public policy. It is also built through citizen trust in institutions and through social solidarity. Parliament has an essential role in this process. It provides the legislative and democratic framework that guarantees state continuity in the face of any crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, today's forum takes place in an intense and relevant Euro-Atlantic context. Just 3 days ago, here at the Senate, the plenary meeting of the NATO Industrial Advisory Group was held, and also this week, the Senate is hosting the NATO Industry Forum 2025. Taken together, NATO Industrial Advisory Group and the NATO Industry Forum and the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Forum represent 3 complementary dimensions of shared strategic effort. NATO Industrial Advisory Group reflects the partnership between NATO and industry. The NATO Industry Forum highlights innovation and the development of technological capabilities. Euro-Atlantic Resilience Forum provides the framework for vision, policy, and strategic cooperation. These 3 events demonstrate the strength of Romania-NATO partnership and the institutional maturity of the Romanian state. The strategic partnership between the European Union and NATO is a vital pillar of our collective security. As global changes evolve, so must our cooperation. We must continue to align our strategic approaches to protect our citizens, societies, and critical infrastructure, and to ensure that our democratic institutions remain strong and responsive. This forum provides the perfect framework for such a dialogue, one that combines policy reflection, institutional experience, and academic insight. I would like to express my appreciation to the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Center and its partners, including the Egmont Institute of Brussels, for their efforts in promoting this essential conversation. Let me assure you that the Senate of Romania remains fully committed to supporting initiatives of strengthening our Euro-Atlantic cooperation in our collective resilience. Together, through dialogue, coordination, and shared commitment, we can turn uncertainty into opportunity and challenges into progress. Allow me to the end on a more personal note. In Romania, we have a legend that speaks about the power of creation, the story of Master Manole, the builder of the Curtea d'Argeș Monastery in my home county, a place close to my heart. It is said that every night the walls he built would collapse until he understood that true creation demands more than skill. It requires faith, perseverance, and part of oneself in every stone. It is an old story, but its message still matters. What lasts is built with vision, teamwork, and belief in ourselves. I wish you all fruitful discussion and every success in your work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. It is my pleasure now to give the floor to Major General Air Force Eugen Mavriș, Rector of the Carol I National Defense University, representing the Romanian Ministry of Defense. General, you have the floor.
Good morning everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, distinguished audience. Good morning and thank you very much, Mr. President, for the opportunity to have a short speech today about this theme that defines our shared future, resilience through connectivity and cooperation. The establishment of Euro-Atlantic Resilience Center in Romania is a very important step forward to strengthen the Allied and European resilience through member states and partners. It was a concrete and strategic national approach to demonstrate the fact that Romania become a hub of excellence in the resilience domain in NATO and EU, as well as an important delivery tool of resilience expertise, not only for allies, but also for partners. The entire activity of Euro-Atlantic Resilience Center has demonstrated its huge value and important role as the alliance framework for strategic debates and concept development, training and exercises, for developing different programs and initiatives in the resilience domain, based on 3 pillars: developing analytic tools and good practices, combating risks through anticipation and adaptation, and also establishing practical cooperation in education, training, and common exercises. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that is more connected than ever before, through trade, technology, communication, but also and shared challenges. Our strength, our resilience, depends on our ability to work together. One of the major Euro-Atlantic Resilience Center international events is this forum, which connects allied and partners' capitals and brings together experts from all around the world to foster true international dialogue on resilience challenges. The resilience, which still remains a national responsibility, has a multi-layer and multidisciplinary approach, including a societal one, which makes it a deterrent multiplier for national defense and security. Resilience goes beyond survival. It is our capacity to adapt, grow, and emerge stronger. In this sense, resilience is dynamic. It is built through relationship system and trust. And at the heart of such resilience stand connectivity and cooperation. Therefore, resilience has to be addressed in multiple dimensions. For the military, the national resilience has a very important role and place in defending our country and for the alliance, because we are the the contributors to the establishment of a continuous resilience in the most important national domains, and we have to maintain our own resilience too. For the Romanian forces, the connectivity, as I mentioned, is of paramount importance to build the military power at the right place and the right time. This represents what NATO and EU are trying to achieve also through different initiatives, for example, the military mobility. We are very interested in building this military mobility, at least for two important aspects for us. On one hand, it represents the mobility of our units and formation, and on the other hand, as member of the Alliance and EU, we have to ensure the host nation's responsibilities. This is a must. We have to prepare leaders in order to have the results. Therefore, we very much appreciate what Center of Euro-Atlantic Resilience have already done and continue to do in this respect, with a lot of training and exercises for future leaders, including the 6th edition of the NATO Resilience Course for civilian experts. From our excellent cooperation and common participation at many academic events, we took the most appropriate products and lessons identified and started to use them inside of our university curriculum. I am proud to inform you that our university, National Defense University, organizes 2 master programs regarding the resilience, critical infrastructure protection, and cybersecurity of operational systems and technologies. In conclusion, I would like to underline that resilience is a collective endeavor. Through connectivity, we see the world. Together, they form the bedrock of resilience, empowering us not only to face challenges, but to transform them into opportunities for growth and unity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, General, sir. On behalf of the Romanian Intelligence Service, I am honored to recognize Brigadier General Adrian Părăluță. You have the floor, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to be once again part of the opening ceremony of the Euro-Atlantic Forum for Resilience. Over time, this event has become a recognized space for open and constructive dialogue, where practitioners, policymakers, and partners can reflect together on how our societies respond to challenges and change. Today, we meet in a context defined by uncertainty and increasingly complex threats to our democratic values. Over the past year, our country, like many other European democracies, has faced sophisticated hybrid actions. These challenges have taken subtle and often coordinated forms, especially through disinformation and manipulation, aimed at weakening social cohesion and undermining trust. Trust in institutions, in processes, and ultimately in one another. In response, Romania has proved its resilience in the face of these complex hybrid threats. Through coordinated institutional efforts, strong national cooperation, and close partnership with international allies, we have managed to navigate these challenges while reaffirming our steadfast commitment to the Euro-Atlantic values and collective security. Yet, significant difficulties and pressures remain. The Romanian society is more divided than ever, and the information space is saturated with competing narratives, often designed to amplify disagreement. The boundaries between fact and fiction are increasingly blurred. This polarization represents both a social concern and a strategic vulnerability. No nation can truly prosper and remain secure when the public discourse is dominated by division and us versus them mindsets. Polarization also affects what we might call cognitive resilience, the ability of citizens to discern truth, to engage critically with information, and to resist manipulation. A fragmented public sphere weakens this collective immunity, making societies more vulnerable to influence and less capable of building consensus around common goals. A resilient democracy is one in which disagreement can coexist with mutual respect and where diversity of opinion strengthens rather than divides society. In this environment, sustaining public confidence in institutions and democratic processes is increasingly challenging. State institutions have the responsibility to rebuild and sustain citizens' trust by ensuring that governance is effective, responsive, and aligned with the needs of the society. This means shaping a shared vision for the future, a future that is safe, stable, and open to sustainable growth. In line with its mandate and mission, SRI's efforts have focused on identifying and signaling risks and threats to our decision makers, as well as on preventing and countering threats to our social stability and the function of our democratic institution. However, addressing these dynamics cannot fall to any single institution or sector alone. A comprehensive approach, one that engages all levels of government, civil society, the private sector, and the international partners is essential. The challenges ahead require strength, adaptability, and foresight, the ability to learn from experience, anticipate emerging threats, and maintain unity even in uncertain times. Through close collaboration between institutions and citizens, societal cohesion can be strengthened, and stability, security, and prosperity can be maintained and reinforced. This forum brings together government institutions, the private sector, civil society, and other stakeholders to exchange perspective, share best practices, and develop coordinated approaches that can enhance national and collective cohesion and preparedness. Resilience begins with trust, but it is sustained through action. By exchanging ideas openly and bringing together diverse perspectives, we set the stage for innovative thinking and practical solutions. I wish all participants fruitful discussions, insightful debates, and outcomes that translate into actionable steps, enabling us to anticipate change, adapt effectively, and act decisively together. Thank you.
We thank you, General. The Special Telecommunication Service is also a substantive contributor to our center. I would like to give the floor now to Lieutenant General Madeleine Virgil Mihai. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to represent the Special Telecommunications Service at the opening of the 4th edition of the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Forum, a platform that has become a veritable laboratory of ideas and strategic solutions for strengthening the resilience of democratic societies in meeting global challenges. In an interconnected world where national security is inseparable from the security of communications and information technology, the concept of resilience takes on a deep technological dimension. Today, we are talking not only about institutional or societal resilience, but also about the resilience of essential digital and communications infrastructures that make possible for the modern state to function. For the Special Telecommunications Service, an institution at the core of the national architecture of secure governmental communications, technological resilience means the ability to safeguard essential services provided to authorities and citizens, irrespective of any and all unforeseen operational challenges. The resilience is built on several fundamental pillars, the first being security and availability through interconnected communication networks capable of ensuring the continuity of essential IT&C services in different types of scenarios. Another decisive pillar is innovation by adopting zero trust security solutions and emerging technology such as artificial intelligence used also for automating certain operational responses. At last but not least, trust. Trust in people, in partnerships, and in the digital ecosystem. The Special Telecommunication Service carries out strategic projects that support digital governance continuity, together with a permanent focus on understanding of the risk factors in real time. Here, I'm referring to the governmental private cloud, also regional clouds, who are in various phases of development, which will provide interconnected, secure, and scalable platforms for the digitalization of central and local public administrations, and therefore increase the efficiency and security of digital services for our citizens and companies. Furthermore, governmental blockchain network interconnected with the European blockchain infrastructure provides additional levels of trust for various essential processes of the Romanian state, such as electoral processes. Additionally, the 112 emergency service, which we are continuously modernizing, represents the backbone of rapid response in crisis situations, a model of operational interoperability between institutions, essential for the safety of our citizens. The secure, fixed, and mobile, broadband, and narrowband communications networks are developed by STS for both public protection and disaster relief users, and for interinstitutional communications with a high level of security and availability. They contribute directly to the state's ability to respond in a unified, efficient, and coordinated manner during critical situations. The high-performance computing infrastructure, which will be developed by STS, will support artificial intelligence applications of Romanian state entities that implement use cases in the field of AI agents, genomics, computer vision, and digital twin. In addition, I would like to stress that the IT&C systems implemented by STS offer 100% digital flows for strategic projects, ensuring the high level of automation, traceability, and security of institutional processes. These integrated digital solutions represent the foundation of a modern, efficient, and resilient administration capable of responding quickly and coherently to the challenges of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, in a dynamic technological ecosystem where innovation is both a source of opportunity and a risk vector, institutions must build continuous adaptation mechanisms, and STS is fully committed to this process. Today's debate, which also brings together experts from the partner countries, confirms that resilience has no borders and that it is not an abstract concept. It is an organizational culture that is being built daily through professionalism, solidarity, and the ability to see opportunities. In conclusion, kindly allow me to congratulate the organizers of this remarkable initiative. Today's event confirms the shared commitment of Romania and its Euro-Atlantic partners to build a resilient, secure, and future-proof community. Through collaboration, trust, and a shared vision, we will continue to strengthen the resilience of Europe and the Euro-Atlantic community. Thank you.
Thank you, General. I would like to introduce now Secretary of State with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sanatinka.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with you this morning. And on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Romania, it's also an honor to welcome you to the 4th edition of the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Forum. I would like to start by extending our sincere appreciation, our gratitude to Ambassador Fătu and his team for the work in organizing this timely and ambitious event, which has become a well-established tradition in Romania. This year's edition of the Resilience Forum coincides with the NATO Industry Forum, also held in Bucharest, actually in the same building. And while the agenda of these two events differs, their objectives are very much aligned. One focuses on the urgent need for Europe to rearm. The other, the forum, on strengthening our societies to withstand and recover from shocks. My point is that these are not competing priorities. They are complementary and equally essential. Rearming and resilience are no longer choices, they are pure necessities. Together, they form the backbone of our collective defense and of the security of our countries, and with time passing by, we understand the complexity of the challenge that we face and the scale of the effort required. In 2025, we enter the 4th year of Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. This war has brought conventional fights back to Europe, but is also generating complex hybrid threats across Europe and especially along the NATO and EU borders. During this time, we have learned a lot, sometimes the hard way, a lot from Ukraine itself, about how to build resilience. But this is obviously not a one-off exercise. It's a process that needs to continue, a continuous loop, if you want, of assessing the risk, learning from our experience, and continuing to adapt. And this is precisely where institutions like the center led by Ambassador Fătu and events like the one that we are attending today come into place. Because since its foundation, the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Center has grown both in relevance and in reach. From cybersecurity exercises in Ukraine to NATO Civilian Resilience Course and the Outlook on Resilience Conference, the expanding portfolio of the Center reflects a strong commitment to practical cross-sectoral cooperation. The Center has thus become a valued platform for dialogue among experts and also among institutions. This year's edition makes no exception, and the forum will address a wide range of topics from earthquake preparedness to dual-use infrastructure, space, and defending democratic societies against digital manipulation. With participants joining from across Europe and beyond, the global reach of the event underscored the international nature of resilience. And I want to underline that in Romania, we view resilience very much as a shared responsibility, supported by close cooperation between governments, the private sector, and the civil society. This is an effort that requires not only a whole-of-government approach, but also a whole-of-society approach to mobilize resources, to counter threats, and maintain essential functions. This cannot happen, of course, without a strong framework for connectivity and cooperation, and this is precisely what this forum helps build. On behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Romania, I would like to assure you that Romania stands as a committed partner on this journey. Our resilience is rooted not only in institutions, but in shared values, trust and cooperation, and we are keenly aware of the fact that we must focus on the resilience of our states, but also on the resilience of our relationship. I feel full confidence that the current edition of the forum will contribute to advancing our common understanding both on the political requirements of resilience and the capabilities we need. I wish you very productive talks, and to our foreign guests, a pleasant stay in Bucharest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary of State. Representing a leading voice from the Romanian think tank community and a strategic partner of our center, I'm honored to recognize Ambassador Mircea Joană, President of the Aspen Institute Romania, former NATO Deputy Secretary General. Secretary General, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Fătu. Dear guests, dear friends, I salute the Ambassador of Ukraine. I think this nation can teach all of us what resilience under immense stress and difficulty can represent. I want to salute you and your nation for everything you do for all of us. I'm happy that the Center for Euro-Atlantic Resilience is becoming a respected, influential, and remarkable project. I'm very happy that when we had this idea a few years back, when I was still in NATO, some institutions in this country understood the importance for such an endeavor. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Institutions, private sector, Alexandra, she's a member of the board of Aspen Institute Romania. She's a great Aspen fellow. And private sector and NGOs like the Aspen Institute. Now, I think not only world affairs, but also human society is changing at the speed and a level of compression, acceleration, and anxiety like never before in history. Geopolitical competition for global supremacy we had before. We have it again. That's a intense competition for global dominance, which encompasses, of course, the politics of that, economies, technology, resilience, ideas, ideologies, ideas how to best organize human societies, because that's the real competition, how to best organize human society. That's the real competition in history. And this is a systemic dimension that will be with us for decades. America is still the only global true superpower, but is challenged, and us in Europe, as European Union, as NATO, and America's allies, we are also very much challenged by this competition. So that's a dominant feature, which impacts our conversation today and the forum today and everything we do in each of our nations and collectively inside the UN, NATO, and part of the global West. The second very interesting issue is the fact that technologies, and the representative of the Romanian Special Telecommunication Service alluded to that. I was leading innovation in NATO, and I have to say that I've never seen, and I used to be an engineer when I was very young, and then I changed a few times my career, my direction. But the combination of hyper-acceleration of revolutions in technology spurred by AI mainly. We speak now about the San Francisco agreement, where people, probably Silicon Valley is over-optimistic, like always, that in 3 to 6 years we'll be moving to basically collective artificial intelligence by algorithm that we're now creating. And this is also amplifying biotechnology and genomics, is amplifying human augmentation, is amplifying the transition from 6G to 5G to 6G, and we are working on this project together with friends from Vodafone and Qualcomm and Orange and others, and I'll come back to that. New materials. For the first time in history, humans will be able to use materials that are not part of the Mendeleev table. This is one of the most profound revolutions in science, technology, and industry that we ever had before in human history. So this is putting immense stress on governments and societies and on business models. This is a time where the weakest link will crack first, and the stronger ones will move ahead. So my encouragement and my message to this very important forum is to please don't think that still the things are going to be the same. They're changing so immensely, and the pressure on us, political leadership, I want to thank the Vice President of the Romanian Senate and all his colleagues, because I know the important work you're doing, governments, irrespective of the political color or ideologies. That's beyond that. Our societies, our businesses, our citizens will be, and anxiety and frustration will be the name of the game. People are concerned, they're anxious. And this is why we need a whole of society, as we call it in NATO and the EU approach on societal resilience. That's in fact. And I urge each and one of you to really start cooperating outside of your silos. There are many silos in national governments, and the closer you get to national security, the more clustered the clusters become. Because that's a reflex of institutions, the military, intelligence, counterintelligence, and then business, and then society. And I think this is one of those moments when I think our nation, our region, our Western world will be put under immense pressure, and that's a very harsh competition. Coming closer to what we're discussing today. On the spectrum, which goes from cooperation to competition to confrontation to crisis and conflict, and I think the center is looking exactly how to basically cope with this spectrum of this arch competition for global supremacy. In the middle, the new dimension that we have not been talking neither in NATO nor in the EU, or not in other formats. Probably we discuss at Davos, we discuss at the Aspen Institute, I mean, we discuss about fresh ideas. But in the center there is what I would call a permanent confrontation mode. When it comes to Russia, this will be a lot of under Article 5 threshold. We used to call it hybrid threats. I think it's obsolete. I think we are in the stage, in the era of permanent asymmetric warfare, from cognitive, as our colleagues from SRI were mentioning, to all the way to telecommunications and healthcare and energy and cyber and space. Please do look, as Romania, please do look to the space security. And I think, again, because we're a weak economy, or weaker economy, and not have enough capital, we have to make sure that we're also part of that ecosystem of security and resilience. And this is what Russia is doing. They're testing us. I do not personally believe that they will be doing something traditional against our countries in NATO. We very much depend on the destiny of Ukraine. Ukraine needs to be successful and stand and be able to be part of our family of nations. And we hope that this war will come to an end. And I think sometime next year probably we'll be seeing the first signs. That's my personal observation. And I salute the fact that the US has started to put real pressure on the oil and money machine of the Russia war machine against Ukraine. So I think this is a good sign in the right direction. Something about Aspen this time. We have a program, a policy program at Aspen, and that's why we're privileged to be a partner with the European Euro-Atlantic Center for Resilience. And I want to thank Ambassador Fatu and his wonderful team, including the Aspen Fellows on your team, for giving us this partnership. We have a policy program that is trying to look into this spectrum that I mentioned including on critical and essential infrastructures. We have a leadership program that I want to invite. I also talked to the director here and others. Please send your best young, talented women and men to leadership programs of ASPAN, because we are simply the best. And I'm not bragging about that. We are very good at that. Also, we started a massive presence, other than we have an office in Chisinau, we have a big office in Brussels, and we are starting a European Center for Economic Security, Tech and Resilience in Brussels as we speak. The first project, I talked to Alexandra, is on the lessons learned from the 5G adoption on the way to 6G, which is coming also spurred by AI and other things. Also, so we have a big European now footprint in Brussels, and this is something I wanted to encourage you and your colleagues that are operating in Brussels to look up to what we do, and I think this is something which is great. And last word about cooperation, because that's something that we do. When we started this center some years back, it was a little bit probably counterintuitive to think of Romania as hosting such a Euro-Atlantic EU and NATO resilience center, because in Scandinavia, to be honest, they have, look at Finland, look at others, they have wonderful expertise there. But I believe that the idea to have it here and also go outside of this is also good, because you have to look into the societies that have more social entropy. And that's the case of our region and Romania. We have more social entropy here. We don't have social trust as an ingredient of national culture. And I dare to say, now Ukraine has forged on the war sort of a very strong, but the rest of us in this part of Europe, and also Southern Europe, we are not that resilient in that direction. So I think the idea to look into our weaknesses and learn from each other and support each other is something which is very, very, very important. So in a nutshell, resilience is becoming part of national security doctrines. I know that the new defense strategy of Romania that the president is working, and we also helped as ASPAN Institute with some ideas, contributing to some ideas to that. So from national security strategies to business models, and there'll be a cost for business, for resilience, for supply chain, for cyber, for energy, for healthcare, for everything. This will be a cost. And have to work together, government, parliaments, and private sector, to making sure that we make that cost bearable and find a way for allowing also our private sector, our business sector, our corporations, big and small, to be able to be also resilient. And the most complicated part is, of course, is the societal part, cognitive. We are living in a world where the Molotov cocktail of frustrations is so easy to be excited and exploited and abused of by domestic and international players. And Romania was part of a big experimentation. Thanks God that our friends in Moldova, in the Republic of Moldova, they showed, I think, more resilience and more, let's say, determination than other bigger countries in the same region. So I'm very happy to have been invited here to say a few words. I'm just saying on a very, very determined and sober voice that this is one of those times when the rules of engagement are changing profoundly, when societies are changing, when the way of doing politics is changing. And I think we don't have the luxury to believe that what we do is good enough. Individually and collectively, we have to really think ahead and be together, because we are defending basically our democratic values and what we are standing for in NATO and the EU. And I want to thank again Ambassador Fătă Lucian, and we have friends from our Washington days, and his wonderful team. I think you have built a remarkable organization. I'm very proud of you, and I wish you the best of success.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I feel compelled to leave my chairperson hat a little bit aside and reinforce the positive message of Ambassador Jana. Please have confidence in this center because it is not only pillared by a number of very experienced institutions fundamental to the defense and security architecture of this country, but because it is manned by a very skilled, very determined team of people coming from various backgrounds who are really enjoying what they're doing and really have confidence in the future of this center. We aim to become what we call international. I mean, we aim to become a platform of use, of choice, to bring a modest contribution to providing resilience products to the Euro-Atlantic community partners, as well as to the areas in the wider Black Sea, in the Southern Caucasus, in the Western Balkans. And to anticipate a little bit our next panel, I would like to challenge another of our formats of thinking in terms of security, and ask the question, are we on an eastern flank or are we on an eastern front? But there will be ample time, I think, to discuss these things during the next panel and to the other panels. But our activity and today's event would not have been possible or efficient without the generous support of our strategic sponsor. It is my honor, privilege, and personal gratification to give the floor to Mr. Nadine Baytarun, CEO of Vodafone. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a true honor today to be here at the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Forum as Vodafone Romania, and I believe our presence here is a true testament about the importance of Vodafone continuing to play in Romania's digital transformation. I'd like to start with reflecting some of the Vodafone's long-lasting and ever-growing presence in Romania. Over the past decades, Vodafone has become an important part of the Romanian society, investing more than 6 billion euros in the country for building the world-class network, but also the digital infrastructure, and probably serving more than 6 million customers now, and hoping to reach up to 8 million with the recent acquisition of Telecom Romania mobile company. The expanded coverage, the new investments on the 5G part, and building this digital infrastructure, Vodafone is very proud to support the community, not only in urban but also in the rural communities across the country. As a global player, our purpose is to connect everyone. As the largest telecom operator in Africa, but also in Europe, operating world's largest IoT platform, where we are connecting more than 215 million connections. We are one of the largest investors also in the subsea and terrestrial systems, and around 1/6 of the world internet is passing through our subsea cables. But this is just a current picture, and we are not stopping there. To connect areas without coverage and make sure no one is left behind, we are now developing a new direct-to-mobile satellite communication services, which we are hoping to be live across Europe by next year. We are the true trusted partner of over 300 million customers and more than up to 5 million enterprises around the world, and Romania plays a significant role in this success. Vodafone is definitely deeply enrolled in the Romanian society. Every day, we rise with the challenges and opportunities that the country presents. As we navigate through this complex and rapidly changing global landscape, leading an organization so impacted by shifting geopolitical trends is both a challenge but also a privilege. I'd like to underline a very important point. It's very important to emphasize that the telecommunication industry is not just a technology enabler, but we represent a true core pillar in the national security ecosystem. Unlike the traditional services providers, telecom networks are essential infrastructures. They underpin the government communications, economic transactions, emergency responses, and critical public services. compromised, the ripple effect can be immediate and wide-reaching, from disrupting the essential services to increased vulnerabilities to hybrid and cyber threats. At Vodafone, we view our role not only as an infrastructure builder, but as an active defender of the social and economic fabric of the nation, working hand in hand with the government and the industry to safeguard the security and the continuity. I'd like to underline three very important pillars that will be our priorities in the coming year. The first one, for sure, is the cybersecurity as the first line of defense. In this interconnected age, cybersecurity remains the single greatest challenge. No government, business, or individual is immune to cyber threats. At Vodafone, our systems block billions of cyber attacks annually, and I have to say, Romania alone takes a significant part of these attacks. The cost of these threats is projected to reach staggering new heights by 2025 and 26. These facts make the collaboration imperative. We have to have a holistic risk-based approach and a stronger partnership between the industry and the government to safeguard our critical infrastructure in the country. The second very important point is about the future of the telecommunication industry. The telecom sector stands at a turning point today. The expectations around 5G, satellite connection, other future technologies is very immense. Yet the investment gap and the sector fragmentation must be addressed in Romania to make sure that Romania is not falling behind its European peers. The local scale, the collaboration, strategic planning will be essential here. The connectivity we build today will shape the resilience, competitiveness, and the future prosperity, not just for our sector, but overall Romania as a whole. The third very important point for us is the partnerships at the foundation of building the future. Trusted, secure, and resilient connectivity is truly the backbone of the modern digital economy, but also defense. As the geopolitical environment shifts, protecting our infrastructure and networks from hybrid threats must remain at our central priority. Vodafone leads efforts to strengthen national resilience against such threats, engaging with government agencies, technology partners, and international organizations. But success depends on scale and meaningful partnerships altogether. Our communications networks are vital for Romania.
I would like to again express my gratitude for the participants in this opening ceremony who will not be able to be with us for the continuation of the event due to their agenda. Thank you again very much. Encourage those of you who want to attend the earthquakes panel, which is in video link with Tokyo, and we don't want to make Japanese wait too long, to move to the hall where this, to adjoining hall where this panel is held. And with this, I would like to give the floor to the reputed security journalist and known to all of us who watch Romanian news, Ms. Cristina Cileacu.
Thank you. As President Fatu said, we are going to have a link with Brussels very soon. Our next panel will be about strategic resilience for an unpredictable future, as was already discussed here. The power of balances are shifting and uncertainty has become the new normal. So therefore, the concept of resilience has taken on strategic, forward-looking meaning. We live basically in a world that where security environment and the rules are changing, and international law in the same time are ignored and with increased ease, and unpredictable leaders change the established norms. In this context, we'll have the next speech, the next panel, but in the meantime, I think we'll have a break just to ensure the link with Brussels. Thank you. 5 minutes, please. Be back at 11 sharp. Thank you.